In this lecture, we're going to be discussing class static methods. So, what is a class static method? A class static method is nothing more but a method or function that can be called by the class. Now, you do not need to instantiate an object from a class to use these class static methods. They're only directly called by the class. They only belong to the class. Let me show you an example. So let's start by writing some PHP code. And I'll start with my PHP class. And I'll call this class math. Open and close curly braces. And I'm going to define our new class static method. So we start by using the PHP keyword called static. And the static keyword just lets PHP know that we want to declare a class static method to use. After we use the keyword static, we want to use the next PHP keyword called function, just like a normal function. So after that, let's say squared. Let's call this function squared. Okay? So once we do that, we can actually, of course, in our previous lectures, we can just give it some data. Let's call it number or number squared. We can actually have this class static method do some math for us and display the result. So we're going to take the data that's passed in, or the parameter passed in, to our static function, and we want to multiply it by the same value. So let me do this to make it look a little bit more neat for you guys. Personally, I love big font. I have horrible eyes. So when it comes to doing math operations or calculations, I'll always love to use the parentheses. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Of course, that's what we all learned in school. Well, most people. So once we do that, we can actually go down here. And the way to call a class static method is the same way you call a class attribute, constant or an attribute. So we start with the class name, which is math, followed by 2 colons, and you actually call the function. So the function is called squared. Static function is called squared, and it does require, we required it to pass in some type of information, which is a number squared. So I'll do 3. And it should print the results. So if we go to our browser, refresh it, let's see what happens. Congratulations. We passed in 3. So 3, square root of 3. So 3 to the power of 3 is 9, which we got here. So we can pass in another number if we want. Let's say 9. I'll refresh it, and we get 81 for our results. A class static method is just a normal, ordinary function or method that belongs to a class only. It does not relate to objects. You do not need to create an object or instantiate an object to use this function because it belongs to the class. So congratulations, guys. I hope you guys learned how to use these class static methods that we declare.